What is up, Squared Nation? Welcome back to No Counters, No Combos. And today I've got a little bit of a fun deck profile for you guys. If you noticed in our last gameplay video, you saw it in action, but by no means do I encourage you guys to take this to like a major event. I just kind of got lucky in that game. I guess the cards just kind of trickled my way. This is just like, I guess you can call it a meme deck, but I was going through the decks that I had built because we're getting ready for a shop championship this upcoming weekend, and I wanted to see what was viable and what wasn't. And I just kind of stumbled upon this, and I felt like playing it for a couple of hands and seeing how it went, and it was pretty fun playing it. But I would definitely not take this to an event. But it did win against Drakmon, so I guess it's not too terrible, but just take that with a grain of salt. But for you Tamers fans, or for you your Digimon movie fans from the year 2000, today we're going to be going over like our Terriermon tribal deck, which is the best way for me to describe it, because the best cards in the deck are all Terriermons. So let's just get right into it. Our egg of choice, or our baby of choice, is Gummymon. It's just very simple. You guys know how I feel about 4 eggs, just for consistency. I do apologize for the glare. Hopefully the glare was a little bit better in the gameplay video. I'm trying to adjust the angles here a little bit. See, that looks a little better right there. Okay, cool. So I like this egg because you do suspend a lot in this deck. You could make the argument for, I think his name is Gargamon, which every time you unsuspend you gain a memory, but you do pretty well in this deck with memory, because it's like it's kind of like a control deck, but not really. Control being like Black War Greymon / Gaiamon right now. This is definitely more control than it is like aggro or like mid-range, but I don't even know where I would classify this. It's just like a very fun meme deck in my opinion. So we're just playing the Gummymon just to get that extra draw, and it's just in line with your Terriermon tribal, because that's essentially the baby that is Terriermon. So on to our rookies. We're playing 4 of the EX2 Terriermon. This card is kind of bad in relation to its counterparts out of EX2. This is literally the only Tamer's rookie, and by Tamers I mean Terriermon, Guilmon, Renamon, and Impmon. This is the only Tamer's rookie that does not like search for anything. He's just there. He does gain you a memory if you play a Tamer, but I mean it's not crazy. Like, they made this card too fair, in my opinion. But I mean, Terriermon already does have a searcher, kind of, which we'll get into, but this doesn't grab your Tamers, so it's just weird. His inheritable though is really good. When you suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, you gain 2,000 DP for the end of the turn. That's really good. That's one of the main reasons why he's in here, because that DP gain is definitely solid. And then onto the Searcher Terriermon, like I mentioned before, this is actually from BT8, for Terriermons. This guy's actually pretty good. He's top 5 for a Gargamon, or for a Digimon with Gargamon or Rapidmon in its name. It's just really good. It's a really good searcher. It digs you 5 cards. You're playing tribal, so everything's going to be searchable with Gargamon or Rapidmon. And it's just a really nice rookie, in my opinion. The searcher rookies that we got out of BT8 were really good. Most of them search like multicolor. But the fact that you could just grab a Gargamon or Rapidmon is disgusting. And obviously Rapidmon, is one of the best cards that came out of BT8. So the fact that you just grab it is really good. Consistency searchers are always really good. And it's just another Terriermon, another name. And then we're playing probably the best like single Terriermon like in the game, just because of what he does. We're playing 4 of these Terriermon, your memory chokers. The meta right now is kind of full of these memory gainers. Obviously outside of Tamers and stuff like that, your boost cards like memory boost. Also some of your like Death X cards like Dorugamon and Dorugraymon and Dorugamon. They can pitch cards out of their hand to gain memory, so this kind of stops that. Memory chokers are just really good right now. Obviously Madoki for blue. So Terriermon for green is really nice, and the fact that it just a Terriermon is also really good because it just goes in theme or in line with this deck. So it's a competitive card in a very uncompetitive deck, so it just kind of makes it a little more viable. But this Terriermon is definitely really good, and it is a name. And then onto like my favorite card in the deck, even though it has nothing to do with Terriermon. I'm playing 4 Calamons. Now this is super greedy because Calamon on its own is complete trash. He can't attack. He's a white Digimon, so he has no synergy with your deck at all. You can't search him. But the fact that I'm playing 4 is because you want to see him when you start committing Terriermons to your board. And what I mean by that is you kind of want to see him as early as possible because he has a reduction cost on play if you have a Terriermon out. And you're going to play your Searcher Terriermons hopefully turn 1. So if you're going second and your opponent passes you 4 memory, you can do this all in one play. You can play your Searcher Terriermon and your Calamon, stay at 0, and then Digivolve the Terriermon into something, and then, you know, just gain advantage off this Calamon. So basically what he says is he can't attack. If you have a Terriermon, Impmon, Renamon, or Guilmon in play, you can reduce his cost by 2, so he comes out for 1. And then when one of your Digimon Digivolves, you can suspend this guy to gain a memory, draw a card, and give it plus 3,000 DP till the end of the turn. That's disgusting. And why that's disgusting is because it gives whatever you're Digivolving into that DP boost. So not only will you gain memory, you'll draw a card too, but that DP boost is huge in this format right now. Everything is huge. Everything is big. People are playing 1-stack OTK decks. So if you can get your guys big enough to just wipe them out and have them restart. Granted, in like Alphamon, like X Antibody, it's not that difficult for them to do that, but they still have to commit all those other resources again. So we're playing 4 Calamon. If you see too many of this, it's terrible. He's a brick, but I like to see him as often as possible because he's going to get answered because he's a 1K Digimon that you have to suspend. So you can have multiple copies and it won't feel too bad. So that's my rookie lineup. Even though Calamon technically is not a rookie, that's my rookie lineup. On to the champions. We're playing 4 Gargamon from BT3. He's honestly just in here because of his evolution cost. He's a 1-cost champion, which is fantastic because with Calamon, this is free on Digivolve. So basically, he'll become a 7K beat stick as a champion, which is great. And you'll get to draw and gain a memory off the Calamon. So this is essentially a free Digivolve if you want to keep going up your chain and not pass turn. So if you want to go from rookie to champion to ultimate on your turn without a memory boost, it's possible with this and Calamon because you can play your rookie. Like I said, if you take the scenario that we said before, if you're going second, your opponent passes you 4, you play your rookie for 3, you search, you grab this guy, you play your Calamon for 1, you're at 0, you Digivolve for 1, push your opponent to 1, but then suspend the Calamon and go back to 0, still your turn. So you're just gaining advantage that way. And you want to cycle through your deck as much as possible because green has always had kind of like an inherit and draw problem. So the fact that this deck draws a lot and you can get to your stacks quicker is really, really nice. So we're playing 4 of this Gargamon just because he's a reduced evolution cost. And then we're playing 4 of the EX2 Gargamon. This guy is also really good because of his inheritable. He gives you more DP gain, which is really nice when you suspend something. But his regular skill is if you were to Digivolve him into something, you can reduce that Digivolution cost by 1. So if you want to go up into your Rapidmons, this is a champion, so keep that in mind. If you want to go up into your Ultimates, you can reduce that cost by 1. And the Ultimate Rapidmon that we're playing is not bad. He's actually pretty decent. He gives you your aggro, or he gives you your multiple checks. He's your multiple check card. But he also himself is pretty good in my opinion. So having these reduced champions is really nice because you want to save your memory for the best card in the deck, which is 4 Rapidmons. This is BT8 Golden Armor Rapidmon. This card is just disgusting. I don't know what else to say about this guy other than he is kind of broken. And what I mean by that is when he Digivolves, you can Digivolve on a Terriermon for 3, which is incredible to have a reduced evolution cost. Most of the time, your yellow hybrid decks are Digivolving this guy for 4. But you can Digivolve on a Terriermon for 3. Calamon makes it 2 and gives him a plus 3,000 DP boost. So he would be a 9,000 attacker. And when he comes into play, he suspends your opponent's Digimon equal to the number of Tamers you have, which is going to also trigger other effects. And then you get to neg 5k DP on up to 3 of your opponent's Digimon that are suspended. So this guy wipes boards. Like, in combination with Calamon and your rookie Terriermon, because your Terriermon gives you 2000 DP, he'll come out with 2000 on the Terriermon after suspension. So he'll be an 8k, and then the Calamon can give him 3 more, so he'll be an 11k. So any Digimon that's, what, less than 16k, you're going to be able to run him over with Rapidmon. And he has the armor purge, so even if you have to crack and just purge the Rapidmon and keep your Terriermon on board, that's still a really good play. This guy can take out Megas by himself in combination with one of those 2 cards or both. So Rapidmon is really, really good. And that's why I said earlier it's like a control deck, because you want to drop your Rapidmons when it's impactful on your to your opponent's board. You know, if they have multiple like rookies out or whatever, you're just going to completely wipe those guys and then just go and crash into their stack. So it's just it's really gross how good this guy is. And you play a good amount of Tamers to where you're going to be able to capitalize on his effect. And the last champion is just hybrid for game. You can play Arbormon, you can play Beetlemon, you can play whatever the hell you want. You just want to play that hybrid for game just to get that little chip damage in there. Sometimes it is hard to check multiple times in this deck, so you kind of want to play more of a slow game. But as you get to the later turns and you're checking multiple times with Mega Gargamon, you want to be able to have that last push for game. And hybrid for 2 memory is great. Onto our ultimates, we're playing 4 of these level 5 Rapidmons. This guy's decent. He's only good because of the Calamon in this deck. So because Calamon can give him 3k DP, he becomes a 10k base, and then if you have the right inheritables, you could get him up to, what, 14k if you have the Gargamon and the Terriermon, as long as you're suspending something. Granted, on Digivolution, you can suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, and it's going to trigger your inheritables. In combination with Calamon, these guys can swing for really big damage. So even though this deck isn't the greatest, your DP gains do get a little out of control. And you could get your ultimates to crack Megas. You can get your champion Rapidmon to crack Megas. Obviously, Gargamon is huge already on print, being 13. So it is nice to have DP gain on that as well. Kind of like a walking jamming or delicate plan, unless you hit anything crazy in security. But for the most part, you know, this is going to be like your main tool, really, this and Rapidmon, the other Rapidmon, because they're cheap evolutionary costs. Rapidmon is 3 on a Terriermon, but you can reduce it with Calamon and Gargamon. I'm sorry, you can reduce it with Calamon. This you can reduce with Calamon and Gargamon, making it a 1 cost. And there's also a couple Tamers in this deck that help with Digivolution as a mechanic as well. So we're playing that Gargamon, and then our last Digimon is our Mega. We're just playing 4 Mega Gargamons. This guy is kind of gross. Like, if you can establish him on established boards that your opponent has, he's really good, because he suspends your opponent's board, and then he can bounce back Digimon that your opponent controls with less DP than him. And he's already 13, so you're going to be able to bounce back 12s and less. And then if you get DP gain from your inheritables or from your Calamon, you're going to be able to bounce back more. So even though he does Digivolve for 5, it's okay to pass turn. It's like a pseudo control blitz effect. You know, blitz obviously you're going to be using aggressively to attack, but you know, passing over to your opponent's turn with putting this guy on the board and bouncing back their guys who are going to be able to swing at you is fine. And then he gets the security check plus from the inheritable on the Rapidmon. And then for each Tamer you have in play when he comes into play on Digivolution, you suspend your opponent's Digimon and they can't unsuspend. So it gives you that extra turn, because he is a 5-costed evolution, so there's a lot of memory to commit. But it's just kind of giving you that survivability for the next turn. And 13k DP is nothing to laugh at. So we're playing 4 of the Mega Gargamon. So that's it for our Digimon lineup. It is pretty hefty on the Digimon count, but I felt like that was the best way of doing it. On to our options. I'm playing 3 Samadhi Santi. Like I said, this deck really does rely on suspension, and sometimes you're not going to be able to trigger suspension on your Digivolutions because you don't have your pieces. So by using Samadhi Santi, you can suspend your Calamon and then go ahead and do this. Like, if you know you're not going to Digivolve, you can Samadhi Santi on your Calamon to suspend one of their Digimon, and then you trigger your inheritables. Like, if you already have an existing stack, or if you're going to promote from raising, you can just promote Samadhi Santi, rest the Calamon, or suspend the Calamon, trigger all your inheritables, and then you go ahead and just go off that way. This card is really good. It does check from security as well. You can suspend one of their Tamers or Digimon, which is really great. Just have to be careful because there's some tricky wording in here. It says when your opponent's cards suspend with this effect, they can't unsuspend till the end of the next turn. So if you Samadhi Santi one of their Digimon, they can't unsuspend. But if you Samadhi Santi and then something else comes out, whatever Digimon you didn't target with this card is going to be able to unsuspend. So I just like having the option of doing this, especially for one cost. It's pretty nice being able to do that suspension in this deck. And then we're playing 2 green memory boost. Even though this isn't the most competitive deck, it does not get around what's being played right now in the format or in the meta. Memory boosts are just great cards right now because they give you that extra memory. Yes, it is tough when you run into a memory choker, but for the most part, I think there's a lot of built-in removal in the format right now, especially in other colors. So being able to look at top 4 for Digimon green, add it to your hand, and then have that delay effect getting the 2 memory is nice, especially because you have a lot of hefty costed Digivolutions in this deck. So Memory Tamer and cracking a delay on a memory boost is your Gargamon right there for 5 without passing turn. So it's just really nice to have that. And adding Digimon to your hand is always really nice, which is why we play my favorite card from EX2. This is my favorite card out of EX2, just for the flavor. I love Tamers as an anime. I love the blue card, swiping it through the Digivice and going ahead and getting... I think it was the first time that Guilmon actually came to life when Takato swiped this card through his D3. But I like this card a lot because all it is really is like... It's like a search card without the delay, like memory boost. So you pay 3, you look at the top 5, and then you can add one of those Digimon to your hand. But if you're able to, you can Digivolve from the 5 that you revealed without paying its cost. So if you're playing like, I don't know, like if you have your ultimate on board and you want to do this before you attack, you can go ahead and look at the top 5. And if you reveal a Gargamon or a Mega Gargamon, you can go ahead and Digivolve on top of your ultimate for free, well, without paying its cost, and then you trigger all the effects. Worst case scenario, this is a top 5 to add a piece to your hand. And even if you do flip a Digimon that's eligible for Digivolution, you don't have to Digivolve. The Digivolution is not mandatory. So I use it as a search card, but every once in a while when I want to trigger that effect, if I'm lucky enough to mill a top 5 or to reveal a top 5 and there's a piece there, I just go ahead and do it. Just because Digivolving into Mega Gargamon for 3 is crazy because you get all his effects without passing turn, and it's just really gross. It is a white option, but as long as you have a Tamer in play, you get around its color restriction. So it's really nice. I like the card a lot. And then on to the Tamers. We're playing 2 Willis. Willis is okay. I'm not really a huge fan of his on-play effect. Cracking an egg is good because it just saves you that extra, like if you can crack this, play this, Digivolve a rookie, you can promote it next turn. It kind of speeds up the process. It's like a watered down Mimi. But what makes him really good is his suspension on Digivolution. Like if you Digivolve into a Rapidmon or a Gargamon, you can suspend him to reduce that Digivolution by 1. So there's ways of getting your Rapidmons or your Gargamons Digivolve for 0 in this deck. Like if you play your cards right, it's pretty gross because remember the champion Gargamon, when he's Digivolved, he reduces cost. This reduces cost, and then Calamon suspends and gives you memory. So essentially, a 3-cost Digivolution with this combination of Willis, Gargamon inheritable, and Calamon most likely already on board is going to give you an ultimate Digivolution or a champion being Rapidmon for free. And if you can play a free Rapidmon, that is disgusting. So that's why we play Willis. I'm also playing 2 Henry. This is the EX2 Henry. He's okay. I mean, he doesn't have any crazy skills. He's just your memory tamer, essentially. You start at 3. And then if you were to attack with a Gargamon or a Rapidmon, you can suspend him to suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. So it's just really nice to have him on board. He's dual-faceted. Having a memory tamer is very important. We always want to have at least 2. But that added effect of being able to go ahead and suspend Digimon on swing is very cohesive with how the deck wants to run anyway. It's going to trigger all your inheritables, and it's just kind of get your ball rolling, so to speak. And then the last 2 cards in the deck are Tamers. We're playing 2 Izzy Mimi, or Mizzy, as I like to call it. This card is kind of disgusting. So basically, at the start of your turn, if your opponent has a suspended Digimon in play, you gain 2 memory, and they stack. So if you have 2 of these guys, you're getting 4 off the rip, plus your memory tamer. You're starting your turn with 7 memory. That is gross. But what makes this card so disgusting is when you attack with a level 5 green Digimon, you can suspend this to reveal the top 3 cards from your deck. And if you reveal a level 6 Digimon, you can Digivolve on top of your attacking level 5 without paying its memory cost. So again, this is another way of kind of mitigating that super expensive Mega Gargamon Digivolution cost. If you go ahead and you swing with your Rapidmon, your level 5 Rapidmon, you suspend this, you reveal a Mega Gargamon, boom, right on top of your ultimate. I don't think. No, it would go through. The inheritable on the Rapidmon says that when you suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, you get security check +1. So on Gargamon's the Mega Gargamon's Digivolution off of this, because it's already attacking, it's still Digivolving and suspending something. So if you have a valid target and you're able to suspend it, you will get a security check +1. So he'll be swinging for 2 checks at like a 13k beat stick, and then suspending one of your opponent's Digimon, triggering all your other inheritables, and then he gets this bounce effect on Digivolution as well. So this card is just really gross. It just adds to the complete synergy of the deck. But yeah, I mean, like I said, this is one of those things where you just want to be cute and you want to make like a theme like tribal deck for one of your favorite Digimon. Terriermon like isn't like I like Terriermon a lot. Like my first introduction to Terriermon was the actual Digimon movie back in 2000. So I always liked Terriermon, especially because of the Golden Armor Digivolutions. But just having him fleshed out in Tamers is just really nice. And his relationship with Henry is pretty dope. I don't like Gargamon, like his champion evolution, especially coming from how he looks as Rapidmon. It's just so freaking awesome. I think they kind of dropped the ball a little bit with Gargamon because he's just a bunny rabbit with guns, which is crazy, but it is what it is. Yeah, I had a lot of fun playing this deck, and I hope you guys enjoy these deck profiles that we do. I know they're not the most competitive deck lists. You can definitely find a lot better ones on YouTube, but I play the game for fun. Me and my kids enjoy it, and we go to locals every once in a while, but for the most part, it is just about having fun. So if you want to play like kitchen table, or if you want to go ahead and just make adjustments to these decks, because I do believe that there's some value in having like a basic core to go off of and making adjustments that fit your playstyle or your local meta. So that's pretty much it. We're going to get on out of here. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and please hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date with everything No Counters, No Combos. We really do appreciate the support, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Be there or be squared.